sensations over others.
So give me an example of how you would do this. You've heard speak of High Park, talking about the trees. Give us an example of how you would go about being intentional about bringing attention to your senses.
So I think it starts with having an intention that you're willing to let things change. And then it's about scaffolding that intention. So we heard one of the people in the High Park recording saying it's just so great having a facilitator here because, I'm here, I'm in a different environment. She's telling me, she's reminding me all the time. So that's great. So you can find a teacher, whether it's, meditation teacher, yoga teacher, a sports or athletic coach, going into nature itself can draw people into this sort of sense of awe and the profundity of this natural living world that's bigger than you. So changing your environment or changing the people you're around can be a great boon, but it can also be something much more mundane. I often talk about as I try to work with as being a parent and remembering to have some intentionality as being a parent. What I did for myself was I conditioned myself. I told myself, when you feel the cold bathroom tile on your feet in the morning, I want you to remember that you're up to something today. For example, it'd be, you're going to remember to be kind or be patient. So I know that when I go into this place and I feel the cold bathroom tile on my floor, I could just shy away from it and say, oh, that's cold. Or it could be an invitation, just like in the forest bathing exercise, it could be an invitation to open up even more and say, okay, I wonder what else is possible.
But you pay attention to what you're experiencing.
Yeah, that's the practice, and the motivation for the practice comes from realizing that there are thousands of years of perennial philosophy and training behind this in different wisdom traditions across the world, and now there's this emerging real neuroscience behind it, also showing us that part of what's happening when people become depressed or vulnerable to relapse and depression is the calcification of the sensory system, right? So regardless of whether you get it more from poetry or from reading scientific papers, there's converging evidence that keeping balance between the sensing mode of your brain and judging mode of your brain is really important for long-term health.
What can you learn from eating with your non-dominant hand?
Yeah, so
you sit at the table, I'm right-handed, but if I'm going to eat my lunch with my left hand, aside from spilling the salad on me, what am I going to learn?
Yeah, so it's going to be disruptive. Right? All of your intuitions are going to be the mirror image of what you should be doing, right? Even in terms of how you bring an arm towards your face is going to be backwards. So this can be a safe but really accessible, practical way to engage in a sensory exploration exercise. What is it like to pick up the fork or the spoon? What is it like to move my arm and feeling like everything actually is going slightly the wrong way, but at the same time, if you're paying attention, most of the time you can get it done. And so this is, I think, a great example of the spirit of the sense foraging practices that we try to describe in the book. Is you're curious about what it's going to be like to do something different, and you pick something that's accessible and seems safe enough for you. It's something you can do right now, and you don't have to go on a pilgrimage around the world to start to open up a little bit.
What would you say to somebody who's really skeptical about this, who says, I don't believe that that there is any evidence that this is actually going to make me feel better, that it sounds a bit woo, and it's not for me?
Yeah, I think it's great to be skeptical about anything. I mean, be skeptical also about whether your phone app is good for you or other aspects in your life. But sure, be skeptical. I'm a scientist, I'm an empiricist, right? I think it's worth trying, and you can pick an access point that makes sense for you. You could try going for a walk where the point of the walk is to notice as many things on the walk that you wouldn't normally notice. You could sit in your office or at home and try to notice 5 things around the room that you would normally never pay attention to. And the trick is just checking in, before and after these sorts of practices around whether things feel different. Do a few minutes of practice and see if it feels different for you. And also don't be too fixated on it has to be meditation or it has to be in the forest. Think about what's going to be comfortable and engaging for you. What has a chance of actually feeling positive. It could be around food, right? It could be around exercise. It's just something where you can get out of your head and into your senses for a little while, and just to notice, do you feel like a slightly different person after that? And if the answer is no, then don't keep doing it. It's not the right thing for you.
What is success? Just finally, what does success look like in this?
Success looks like, at the start, at least, I would say, just not being as sure about the way life is, the way the world is. Success actually at the start feels a little bit like a destabilization, in that often it will lead us to think, maybe this is dangerous and maybe this is risky. And, if it's you eating with your left hand, your right hand, your non-dominant hand, intellectually it's not really dangerous. What you're doing is, maybe for the first time in a long time, letting yourself be open to possibilities. learning to open yourself up to like what else is possible and using the senses as a lever to do that, that feeling of just like, oh, I was a little bit surprised, I was a little bit uncertain, that's the sign of success in initial practices.
Norm, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to share.
That's Norm Farb, neuroscientist and associate professor of psychology at the University of Toronto, and he is co-author, along with the U of T psychology professor Zindel Siegel, of a new book. It's called Better in Every Sense: How the New Science of Sensation Can Help You Reclaim Your Life.
Hi, this is Rafi, the children's troubadour. And I want to say that a feeling of gratitude is what I wake up with in the morning. It's what makes me feel so joyful for all my blessings.
Look at all this traffic.
And that's a great way to feel well during the day, and it's a really good wellness practice. I laugh as often as I can, and I really enjoy
no
the people I meet throughout the day. I'm always sharing a laugh, a high five,
wasted on
and
acceleration.
again, that feeling of gratitude is there in every single day.
The daily routine of laughter and gratitude sounds pretty good. Kind of sounds like its own brand as well for Rafi. A lot of people's wellness routines for both mind and body include water.
I had a knee injury last summer, so I couldn't do my normal exercises.
I got a jibber on the day today. Hey,
I couldn't actually.
I brought the back pain medication. Hey, I got a jibber on the day today. I brought the jibber medication.
This Maureen Spencer.
I brought the jibber medication.
After dealing with a knee
I brought that jibber medication.
The water helped her conquer that.
I got that back pain medication. Yeah, get out there.
Particularly as I
I'm
could
gonna
move
hit
my
you.
legs more easily because it wasn't weight bearing. So I found that actually being able to
Oh,
move it
got the permanent marker wrapped up
think it
with
keeps
some
me healthy.
concentrate.
And given my age, it's a priority, right, to keep agile.
Try to get through till about 2. Try to get through till about 2.
Traumatic experience as a child.
Then I'll spark up the do. Try to get through till about 2.
This phobia of the water.
Then it'll be time to spark the do. Then it'll be time to spark the do.
And I took private classes. I was terrified to be with other swimmers.
Try to get by till about 2. Then I'll get 2. Spark my do. I don't know where I'm going because it's not in the system. So I'm going to have to sit up in here and I'll let this guy go. And I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go up here and take a left.
Feel the
I'm
water.
going to try to find it.
It's amazing. I found out
Try to
that I
get by
have
till about
cholesterol,
2. Then
and
I
didn't
think
wanna
I
take
can spark my
medication.
do.
And I went from 6 to 2.
Try to get by till about 2. Then I think it's time to spark my do.
For your mental health, and you're at peace, you're quiet, you can relax. Your body just feels
Going
so
up here to
different.
take a left. I'm going up here to take a left.
O'Leary.
I don't know where I'm going, but from the looks of it,
and I'm not a very active person, but swimming is
back in here
enjoyable,
somewhere.
and it's
Weed.
easy for me,
Yeah,
and
you
it
guys
keeps
know.
me fit. I've had a
So
hip
he said,
replacement, and
take
I've
a
had two
left
shoulders
at,
that have been
Mr. C's.
injected several times with cortisone, etc. And
Take that
swimming
straight
helps
down, and it's at the
fantastically with the hip, and also with the back because of the hip.
Oh, it's
I feel
farther
so
up.
free in the
farther
water,
up.
and I feel
Because you know what?
weightless.
Are you mid-swim?
No, I'm
Mr.
done.
C's and all that's up
Overfilled
past
today.
motherfucking
Yeah,
lows
do
and shit.
30 minutes, I did 45 today. I feel wonderful.
Thank you so much,
This
Aiden.
area. I'm getting on the gas today. I don't
So
give a
producer
fuck, you
Amanda
know what I
Grant
mean?
speaking with swimmers in downtown
not gonna make
Toronto.
a difference
Swimming
in my
is one
average
way to exercise
if I
if
get
you've
on
been
the
injured.
gas a little
Coming up
today,
after the
'cause I
break,
had
you'll
people
hear from
behind me.
Sean Dodette. He studies lower
Yeah.
back pain, and he'll explain why a lot of what you thought about managing back pain
I go out
is
here.
wrong. I'm Matt Galloway. We're back in 9 seconds.
It's up higher. I'm gonna go through Lowe's as my cut through. Doodle doodle. Because if he's here, I'll just holler. But he was gonna be here like, oh, there he is right there. Nope, that's not gonna be here like an hour ago, so there's a Beretta. That's sweet. That's his big old rig, you know. Doodle-ch. Look at those little golf
Local
carts,
news and
man.
weather from CBC Windsor.
Fuck
I'm Tom
yeah,
Madison.
they're
The leaders of the
8,900 though.
pro-Palestinian
I'd rather get
encampment
a
at the University of Windsor met with school president
I don't
Robert
know,
Gordon yesterday.
Porsche.
This was their first meeting since the
You guys get to
encampment
see
began
Lowe's
on
at
May
15 and
10th.
Gratiot in
The group is
action
mainly
today and
asking
this
that the
morning, you
university
know.
disclose
All the
and divest of
grandmas and the
investments that benefit
grandpas, you know,
Israel.
getting their
Faculty
flowers.
and instructors have also joined
Grandmas
in
and the
on the
grandpas
action. 68
getting
of
their
them have signed
flowers.
an open letter that was sent to
y'all
President Gordon
doing?
last week. They want to see
Man, I got a new
demand
controller on
met.
Xbox
They're skeptical
and
that the university
shit.
will act.
That thing is
Vincent Hall
gone.
is an assistant professor in the university's faculty
thing is
of law.
Meetings and progress is not action, right? It's not implementation. The fact that they've known about these
I gotta
for
figure it
so
out a little
long
more,
in
but-
very, very clear detail, and we're
going to do Sawzall work and shit, you know, it's real milky. It's real milky. What you try to do is you try to not work up a sweat. I mean, because I'm a pretty good... Oh, what the fuck did I do this for? That I gotta go back down? Shit, I'm an idiot, bro. This is an idiotic move right here that I just pulled.
Rezoning for a proposed 88-unit structure.
Oh, I could have gone up higher in the parking lot, though.
Rezoning still requires council
late now.
approval before construction can begin.
I'm just
In the
gonna be
weather
happy to
forecast,
find this
mainly
place,
sunny
but,
today, a
you
high
know,
of 30, feeling like
You just try to do
36
some
with
fucking,
humidity.
you know,
Tonight, clear
real milky
skies,
work,
a
trying to
low of
not get
19 degrees.
overworked. Try to not work up a sweat.
Hello again.
But it's
I'm
going to
Matt
be
Galloway.
hard because it's going to be 85, real feel 97. So
Before the break, we
you
heard
can't
from
even
swimmers
walk
why
to
it
the
helps
car
with
and
their
not walk up a
injuries
sweat.
and their mental
Walk up
health.
a sweat.
Be in the
Yesterday it
water.
was like,
swimming certainly helps, but
I
it
don't
turns
know,
out that a lot of
real
what we're told to
temperate.
do to help back pain is wrong. What's
I
going
was
on in
working
our
up a sweat.
minds is just as important as our bodies. Sean Baudet is a professor
Look
of
at this shit, I
kinesiology
gotta go all the way
at
down here. I was
Brock
just here.
University, specializes in the biomechanics of the spine. Sean, hello.
Good morning, Matt.
Why
can
is
I
lower
turn
back
here? I don't even know.
such
There's
a
all these
common
fucking cones. They don't even really
Yeah,
let
that's
you
a great
know.
question. I think there are a lot of interesting factors at play that affect lower back pain. So, in the research field, we consider a biopsychosocial
Could probably
model
go right
when we
now,
think
but I
about
don't want
back
to
pain.
pull it
So,
off.
We think about biomechanics, psychology, as well as social factors that
I guess
contribute
right
to
now
the
I
disorder.
could.
For example, for biomechanics, there are factors such as the way you move, the way you stress your body.
All right, so I gotta look for Mr. Season and take a left. So you guys help me out. It'll be the one past, you know, the one that I usually go to for Spitzley. Look at all these fucking zigzagging motherfuckers cutting in front of me to go get their fucking flowers and shit. Look at that guy. Get him, man. He's fucking zigging and zagging and wigging and wagging. All right, so I'm looking for Mr. C's. I kind of know where it is. It's up here. It's right past this little turn that we go to this one house. As long as I can get there before Brad, you know how it is. I mean, I don't even care if I don't, but I'm in it to win it. Alright, so here comes our regular turn for our regular house right here. Right there at East Price. Then I go up here to Mr. C's. I take a left.
When you take a look at how people live their lives, I mean,
You said it's the next one.
something within our
So I'm thinking it's probably this one right here.
To us being at a higher risk for
Is that Mr. C's right there? Yeah, probably. I don't know where the fuck Mr. C's is, but there's a liquor store.
That's contributing to this disorder. For example, if you're continuously sitting, we know that this.
It can't be higher, can
We
it?
also know,
Because then it'd be
on the
past
spectrum,
15 or
those that are
16. I mean,
continuously, loading their spine, for example, by
I can't be
low
higher.
or challenging their spine in a consistent sort of way, that can cause lower back pain.
I don't know, man. He said
So I
turn
think
into
a
it and
large
go straight
component of the
across.
increased
So
prevalence for lower back pain is
I'm
partially
lost.
due to the fact that we're consistently trying to do.
Where's
the
Mr.
same
C's
thing
on this
day in and
whole
day out.
ass?
So a
I
lot,
gotta
in a lot
stop
of
and
cases,
check.
diversity
Hang on,
movement,
I'll pull you guys back
is